In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, most merciful. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. May you all be protected from all kind of disaster situations. I am glad to be here once again for delivering the lecture number 12 about the subjects business ethics. Ethics is one of the important social science. If you apply the principle of ethics in our life, there will be no failure. There will be no hardship, there will be no disaster, there will be no insecurity, there will be no bad situation that we have been experiencing in the present time. So let us change ourselves from the negative thoughts into positive thoughts, which is a good sign of an ethics the person might be having. So today we're discussing about the next topic, that is about the rights. Meanings and types of rights. امروز در مورد حقوق معنای حقوق چی هستند، حقوق چی را میگه، چند نوع حقوق داریم. We're all discussing about these points today. So, meaning of rights. Rights are those conditions that is granted by the state under the situation and circumstances for the welfare of the peoples. Or a right is a moral principle defining and sanctioning a man's freedom of actions in a social context. Or, in the other words, a right is individual entitlement to freedom of choices and well-being. So the word right has been having so many different meaning in regard to different social scientists and ethicists. So it is a special sort of the entitlements of an individual which has been given to the person by the states or by the norms of the societies and by culture and value of society has been given to the peoples, that they should have to freely adopt this and use them as an important points for their life. So rights is a special entitlements in a special condition that is being granted by the state, it means by the government, under the specific situation and under the specific circumstances for only the welfare and prosperity of the people that are living in a basic fundamentals or basic geographical area. So rights is one of the major points that has been missing in our society, because many of the people have been deprived of their rights, or many of them don't know about their rights. So that is also a sort of oppressive activity, that a person has not known even what their rights they are having in the societies. So we, being a person, an educated person, are being responsible to understand, make the people understandable regarding their rights, that how to behave in a certain way to get your rights and go ahead with your life activities. So in the United Nations in 1948, there was a resolution, or there was an agreement, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which was declared and claimed that all human beings are entitled, among other things, to the following important points: that everyone has an equal access and rights to all these facilities. The first, right to own property alone as well as association with others. Everyone has the rights to have their own property and business activities. If they would like to have to join others, it's almost right, no problem. And the right to work, to free choice of employment, to just and favorable condition of work, and to protection against unemployment is the other rights of these who has been given these rights in the context of Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Everyone is free to choose the employment, and they have the right to works, as well as the right to just and favorable remuneration, ensuring for the workers and his family an existing worthy of human dignities. So whatever the employees are doing during their course of time, their wages and their salaries or their money should be paid on regular basis, because the human dignity shouldn't be destroyed. The right to forms and to join trade unions, the right to rest and leisures. So all the worker has the rights to rest for a normal period of time, because they need to be psychologically a bit normal, inactive, as well as they have the right to have some leisure times during their course of actions because of their psychological satisfactions, because humans, how much they be working under the stressful situations, and more burden are there on their brain, so it affects their mentality. So that's why every human has the rights to take some measures in order to make some fun of their leisure times, including reasonable limitation of working hours and periodic holiday with pay. It means that most of the people who has been working in organizations, whether that is private or local or government organizations, so these people should be given a reasonable time for their officials, non-official, as well as social activities, and relaxation of working hours should be given if the time comes too much tough. So it means time limitation should take place, as well as there are different sorts of rights, like we are having, that is types of rights, that is legal rights, حقوقي قانوني موشمو كياس, and is called legal rights. The entitlement may derive from legal system that permits or empower the person to act in a specified way, or that requires others to act in a certain way toward that person. So the entitlement in this called legal right. Legal rights are limited to the particular jurisdiction within which legal system is in force, and legal rights are recognized by the states and are enforced by the court of law. Therefore, its violation will lead to punishment. And as well, legal rights include civil rights, political rights, and economic rights. These are some other rights which comes under the subset of the legal rights. Another types of right that we should have and follow, should have it in our life, that is positive and negative rights. So, since the concept of rights limits the action of the government, the only way to circumvent them is by adding new rights that are allegedly superior to the others. So the concept of positive rights was developed. These new rights differ from old rights. Instead of involving freedom from interference from others, these new rights demand goods and services. The same as we have the positive rights. So positive rights is when you have a right to do something, that means you can force someone else to provide you with it. For example, health, safety, life, and Medicare's. So this is what the right that you have in regard to the societies, that you have to force the other people that they should give you the rights positively, for example, regarding your health and safety, and as well as your life and Medicare's. A negative right is when you have a right to do something, but you have to maintain it yourself. For example, privacy rights of business. So negative rights is distinguished by the fact that its member can be defined wholly in terms of the duty. Others have to not interfere in certain activity of the person who holds a given rights. There is contractual rights. حقوقی قرارداد وقتی که ما شما در یک جای کار میکنیم، امرای اداره ما وعده میکنیم که ما کار به شکل درست انجام میدیم، همچنان اداره هم امرای ما قرارداد میکنه برای ما، میگه که حق و حقوق شما تلف نمیشه، یعنی کلگی امتیازات برای شما داده میشه، و این ما contractual rights میگیم که حق قرارداد یک اداره و یک کارمند هستند. So contractual rights and duties, sometimes called special rights and duties or special obligation, are the limited rights and correlatives duties, rights and correlative duties that arises when one person enters an agreement with another person's. For example, if I contract to do something for you, then you are entitled to my performance. You require a contractual right to whatever I am promised, and I have a contractual duty to perform as I promised. So this is called what I promise, I have to do it. What you promise, you have to do it for me. So what we are signing in the rights, that kind of rights called contractual rights. So the same is we are having right to live. حق ما شما حق زندگی داریم. هیچ کس حق را داره که زندگی کسی را تلف بکند بدون از اینکه جواز شرعی داشته باشد. یعنی هر انسان حق زندگی دارد. متاسفانه ما در افغانستان این حق را نداریم که زندگی کنیم، به خاطر بدون از کدام چون و چرا ما کشته میشیم، 40 سال میشه. So that's why we don't have the right to write. So the right to live is the fundamental right of which all other rights are corollaries. The right to life state that you own your own, own your own body. It is your property to do with as you please. No one may force you to do anything. No one may injure you in any way, and above all, no one may take your life without consent. هیچ وقت هیچ انسان حق این را نداره که زندگی شما را بگیره. شما را بدن شماست، از شماست. هیچ کس شما باید برای شما کدام مشکلی نبرسانه. شما حق اختیار زندگی خودتان دارین، یعنی این اختیار به کسی دیگه از لحاظ شرعی و اخلاقی داده نشده که حق ما و شما را بگیره. So right to liberty، ما حق آزادی داریم که آزاد باشیم، غلامی نکنیم، کسی زیر دست کسی ما زندگی و غلامی نکنیم، آزاد باشیم. So the right to liberty is a part of the right to live, specifically referring to your freedom of actions. You may do what you want when you want, provided you don't trample on the rights of anyone else. هر چی که میخوای هر وقتی که میخوای کار انجام بدی. You are free enough. That is your rights, as well as right to property. شما حق جایداد را دارین، موتر میخرین، خانه میخرین، تجارت میکنین، هر چی که میخرین شما حقشان دارین because it's your basic rights. So property rights are extension to the rights to live. In order to support yourself through reason and stay alive, you must be able to own and use the product of your labor. If the tools of your survival are subject to random specification, then your life is subject to random destructions. Right to free speech. حق بیان آزادی ما شما داریم. The right to free speech is recognition that speech itself, if devoid of physical threats, is not a commencement of force and does not warrant any retaliatory forces. حق اخلاقی ما شما که هستن entitled can also derive from a system of moral standard independently of any particular legal system. Moral rights or human rights are based on moral norms and principles that specify all human beings are permitted or empowered to do something or entitled to have something done for them. So these sort of rights should be easily entertained by the peoples, and they should have be given to the peoples who has been really referring to this situation. The same as civil rights, which is are the basic rights of human. It is sanctioned by the government. Civil rights are the rights of individual to receive equal treatment in number of settings, including education, employment, housing, more and more. Rights to live, right to family, right to equality of law, right to religion, right to freedom of speech, right to freedom of movement, right to freedom of profession, right to foreign association, and right to property, right to social securities are all the example of the civil rights. حق مدنی ما حقوق مدنی ما شما هستند که ما به شکل مساویانه باید برخورد همراه شما صورت بگیره. ما به همه چیزا باید به شکل مساویانه اکسس دسترسی داشته باشیم. چه صحت از زندگی کردن، از فامیل، از قوانین، از هر چی که هستن ما باید با وقت و زمانش ما باید از این مسائل برخوردار باشیم و از این حق و حقوق که هست برخوردار باشیم. The next is political rights. ما حق سیاسی را داریم که در سیاست هم ما داخل باشیم، یک نظام را به پیش ببریم. مثلا right to vote, right to contest an election، انتخابات مثلا به پیش میراندازی بکنیم. right to public employment, right to criticize the government، حق این را داریم که دولت را تنقید بکنیم. right to petition and request to solve their problem. So another right that is called economic rights are the rights by which you can lead your life or fulfill the basic needs. Like for example, right to work, right to property, right to economic security like pensions, saving accounts, and right to rest. These are all those important points that is giving and guaranteeing of your activity of your actions. So that is our economic rights. The same as we have fundamental rights. حقوق بنیادی و اساسی ما شما که هستن is a charter of rights which contains in the constitution of Afghanistan که در کدام که در اساسی قانون افغانستان برای ما شما واضحاً صراحتاً بیان شده. It guarantees civil liberty to the citizen of Afghanistan, include individual rights common to most liberal democracies. So the fundamental rights are basic human freedoms which every Afghan citizen has the right to enjoy. هر افغان باید از این نوع حق و حقوق باید برخوردار باشد، از این نوع حق و حقوق باید استفاده بکند. The same as human rights. حقوق بشر هستند are the right that all people have by the virtue of being human beings, are more than values in behavior that we think other countries don't hold or implement. So we often then away from marginalized individuals यानी हुकूक़ बशर चीज़ें की हुकूक़ असासी बुनियादी मौशुमा बहर इंसान दादशुदा बासासी हुकूक़ बशरीशान इन रबायत मद नज़र बगीरें कदम की बस दर हर ममलकत व बस हर जामे तफावत ज़्यादा इरादा. So these are all those rights that we should have it during our course of actions. If you would like to have a successful business, if you would like to have a successful and peaceful environment, working environment, we have to take care of the rights of each others, and we have to be very much careful about this point that the other who have been working in this organization or in this working setups is a helpful person for the universe, as well as is always a great person for the universe. So being a great person for the universe itself, it is the teaching of ethics. It teaches us to be the great persons and do your best for the people, as well as do your best for your family as well. So let us just promise with ourselves that we will keep ourselves away from all those situations that really hurt and injure the publics in the societies, and we have to be very careful about all those activity which is not in accordance to the ethics of principle, in accordance to the ethics itself. So for that reasons, all of us should have to make promise that we would not take the rights of other people, and we should have to be the great person and greatest people. Among the greatest people, should have to be the greatest person, because many of the times, so many people are living this world without any without anything. So for that reason, we have to be very much careful to do the best for our life and also for the life of others. The mentioned right that we have, if we are in a high position, we have to give all these rights for their consumer and employee who have been working in different organizations. At the same position, if I have been remained same in my position, inshallah, we will try our best to do the greatest things in our life that makes you sure that you are one of the satisfied person of these family members. So that's why we have to give the rights and we have to take the rights. So it is the entitlements that is being established by the government, and government tell us about this. So till then, Allah Hafiz, wish you all the best. May Allah protect you from all mischievous and disastrous situation of this life. And I am happy, be happy. Thank you for your time and attention. Wish you all the best.